You're listening to episode 41, Dominique's story, a daughter born 3 months premature. Hi, and welcome to the Child Life On Call podcast. When your child is sick, the whole world seems to stop in its tracks. Plans and priorities change, and your number one job becomes figuring out how to get your child well again. For some of us, rest, medications, and relaxation can do the trick. But for others, it takes more. It takes countless doctor appointments, invasive medical testing, therapies, surgeries. The list goes on, and then you still may not have all of the answers or results you were hoping for. This podcast features parents of children that have an illness or medical condition and gives them a place to share their own journeys and experiences. We will talk about the ups and the downs, the highs and the lows, but one thing seems to remain the same. Children are resilient and teach us more about ourselves and the world than we could ever imagine. Thank you so much for lending a listening ear and opening up your heart to these families and this podcast. I'm your host, Katie Taylor.
I hated the NICU to begin with, and some days I was kind of resentful that we were there. I would envy the moms that I would see that were still pregnant. I would envy the moms that I would see who just had their babies and got to go home with them right away. And I kind of had to really not humble myself, but I had to really be realistic. Like, she's thriving. She's doing amazing things. Like, once Mila started really thriving, that's when the anxiety kind of went away.
Hello and welcome. I am so glad that you are here today and so thankful that you are joining us. Today, you're going to get to hear from Dominique, who is just such a force. She is so smart. She's so energetic. She's just one of those personalities that you just immediately connect with, and I can't wait to share our conversation with you. She is a mom of Mila, who had a NICU stay that she's going to talk with us about today. But she's also into the arts. She is from Virginia, but now lives in California and has her own LLC called Happy Medium Studio Co. So hopefully she'll talk with us a little bit about that. Just a little housekeeping things. Make sure that you're following along with Child Life On Call on Instagram and Facebook. And if you haven't already, please go rate and review this podcast because it just makes it easier for other families to be able to find us and hear others' experiences. So with that said, let's get started. And here's
Hi guys, my name is Dominique Pompey. I am a mother of one to my beautiful daughter Mila. She's 1 year old, 10 months adjusted. We're from Richmond, Virginia, but we currently reside in San Diego, California.
Cool. And so is it just sunny and beautiful there all the time?
Oh my gosh. It except during rainy season. For the most part, it's sunny and beautiful. But around December to March, it's rainy season, so it rains almost every day. And I know a lot of people think it doesn't rain in Southern California. Yes, it does.
But it does.
Absolutely does rain.
How long have y'all been in California for?
A little over a year. It'll be 2 years in December.
Okay, so your whole experience with Mila then, who we're going to talk about today, happened where you are right now.
Yes, it's so funny because we moved here December 2018. We left literally a day after Christmas. And we got here on the 28th, stayed for 2 days in a hotel until our apartment was ready. And literally 2 days after we got settled, I found out I was pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
So you're on the other side, like you're away from family, and were you shocked?
Brand new home, brand new state, all new beginnings, and then boom, this major beginning that nobody was expecting. It was just definitely unexpected, but definitely exciting.
Wow. Well, cool. So we're going to be talking about Mila today, and why don't you walk us a bit through like what your pregnancy was like, and then take us from there.
Okay, so probably about 2 days after we found out we were pregnant, I did go to the doctor to, get the blood test done to make sure that's really what it was. And from there, everything went smoothly until about maybe the 3rd month of pregnancy. I had went to an appointment and, they measure your belly at the OB. And then they had me go to a specialist to see her for the first time. Like, it wasn't like a 3D appointment, but I could see her, via the sonogram and every ultrasound. And
Yeah.
when they did all of the measurements of her body, they noticed that she was a little behind, but it wasn't anything that they were concerned about. They were like, some babies are just small, whatever. We won't, we'll just keep following it. So they scheduled me to come back for another 2 weeks. When I came back, they noticed that she still hadn't grown much. So then they just started tracking her. I had to come now every 2 weeks for them to measure her. I wasn't scared or upset about it because they were very comforting. It was like, she's small, but her heartbeat is fine and everything else is normal. So we'll just keep watching it. And that's what they did.
Yeah, it's almost like, it's a lot of logistics to have to go in every 2 weeks, but when you're pregnant, you just don't know what's happening. So it's almost like the
Right.
doctor visits are when you look forward to, because you're like, tell me everything's okay, like
Yeah.
confirm that what I'm feeling is normal and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
On the plus side, I did get to see her every 2 weeks. So every time
Yeah.
I went into the specialist appointment, I got to see her. And she would never let us see her face. Like, anytime they wanted to see her face, she either had her hands over her face or was doing something to where we couldn't see her.
You know what? My daughter was the same way. And I was like, up until I delivered her at 40 weeks, I literally never saw her face. I was like, is my baby going to be born without a face? Like, is that what she's going to show us? Like, she doesn't have one?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So, talk to us about what happened when you delivered.
Okay, so after they realized that she wasn't growing, I also had high blood pressure. Let me throw that in there as well.
Okay.
Blood pressure was also a factor in why I had her so early. So the week before I had her, I went in for my specialist appointment as usual. And she told me, she was like, I just want to let you know, like, you're not going to make it past 34 weeks. She said, it's not a matter of if the preeclampsia will hit, but when the preeclampsia will hit. And I was mentally prepared. I was like, okay, 34 weeks isn't bad. That's not too far off. At the time, I was only 26 weeks when she told me that. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, whatever. Went home as usual. That was a Wednesday. Around 1 o'clock in the morning, I woke up with this awful headache, like the worst headache I had ever had, ever. Like, any way I moved my head, the pain would follow. It was terrible. I told my husband, I'm like, my head's hurting real bad. And he was like, well, you should probably just go sleep it off. That's usually what I do when I have a headache. But the pain was just so excruciating that I was like, you know what, I'm going to go to triage because something could be wrong. Went to triage and they actually admitted me. My blood pressure, 3 blood pressures from that night were extremely high. I want to say like 192 over 92. Like, it was high.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and they admitted me. I sat there for a few hours until like they had my room and everything ready. While I was sitting in the hospital in triage, they just monitored her heartbeat, made sure my blood pressure was well. They hooked me up to all the machines and gave me what they could to try to make the headache go away. For 3 days, I sat in the hospital with the same headache. I mean, they gave me everything that they possibly could, like the strongest stuff that they had, and nothing worked.
Wow.
So, but at this point, 3 days had gone by, and it was now Sunday. So I was sitting in my room, and my specialist from the appointments I was going to came in to see me. And she was asking me how I was feeling. She was going through a list of symptoms. And she said, well, let me go talk to the doctor and let me see how she feels and what she wants to do. She came back maybe 15 or 30 minutes later and was like, we're going to have to take her today. At this point, I was 26 weeks and 5 days, 5 or 6 days. And I only had an hour to kind of process what she had said and what was going to be happening before I went down for my emergency C-section.
Oh my gosh. And were you by yourself or did your husband go with you?
No, my husband was there when they told me that morning when they told me that they would have to take her.
Oh my gosh. So you go from like when like mentally preparing yourself for 34 weeks and now you're 26 and 5 and
Yeah,
you're about to have a baby.
yeah. It was
So
scary. My health team had done an amazing job at preparing me for everything. You know, I would always ask questions when I went in, so I wasn't really like blindsided. What I was very nervous about was the C-section.
yeah.
Obviously, I had never given birth before. You always hear these horror stories about African American women and how things always go wrong. So I was terrified. Like I was
Right.
literally terrified to go under for that surgery procedure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my husband was there. I called my mom. My mom's 3,000 miles away. She's freaking out. She didn't know what to do. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think helped when you were there? Did they let your husband like stay with you? Like when you're in the midst of this like crisis within you, how did you get through it?
Okay, so he was allowed to stay with me when he wanted to, but he worked, so I didn't want him sleeping on an uncomfortable bed to have to go in for however many hours he works, and then it was just too much. So I was okay with him going home and coming back up, you know, as
Yeah.
much as he wanted. My what was the question again? I'm sorry, I lost my train of
Just
thought.
like just like what helped you when you were going through that
Oh,
crisis or
well,
who?
my health, the nurses that took care of me were so amazing. They answered every question. We had small talk whenever we came in that wasn't necessarily related to my pregnancy. They made
Yeah.
sure I was good. Anything I asked for, they had my back. So that was
Oh,
pretty amazing. Um, I also had my computer with me, so I was
okay.
just passing time by doing the stuff that I normally do on social media, blogging, the whole
All that. Okay, gotcha. So then you went to have the C-section and little Mila was born and tell me about that.
nine. Oh, that. So, as they were rolling me down to the room, they were explaining like you're gonna have so many people in the room, and they were explaining that they were gonna give me 2 shots, an epidural and an anesthesia. So I was very nervous about that because my husband couldn't be in the room when they gave me those shots. So, and
Yeah.
I'm afraid of needles, so that was a little nerve wracking. And once they gave me the shot, I just remember like my arms spread out. Everything was kind of hazy. My husband was like, "Are you going to wake up?" I was like falling asleep on the table. I just remember looking over and seeing like my blood flowing through this machine just from me
Oh
to the machine. I
gosh.
did see that. And that was kind of like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
My husband was saying like he could see them. They had like he explained them as tongues, and they just like opened me up. He was like, that was kind of crazy to see. But then they were like, "Are you ready?" We're about to pull her out. They opened up the blue curtain, and there she was, and she was crying. So that was like a sign that she was okay. She
Yeah.
was 1 pound 11 ounces when she was born, and that thing, she's feisty, and she's been feisty since the day she was born.
Oh my gosh. 1 pound 11 ounce. So when that happened, were you able they showed you through the curtain and then I guess they had to go take care of her and take her
They
right to
will
the NICU?
immediately. Yep, they wheeled her away immediately, and then I think I want to say my husband left as they, were closing me up. I don't even know how long the procedure was. It felt like 5 minutes to me, but I think it was maybe like an hour or so, the whole thing. And after they were done, they rolled me through the NICU so I could see her. She was intubated and everything. And she was so little. And it was like, oh my gosh, like I made this little human.
Oh
And they
no.
took me to this room where some nurses immediately started like helping with lactation.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So is that something that you had told them you wanted to do or was it kind of expected or
They asked me, and I was okay with it, like whether she was breastfed, formula fed, which she ended up being on both because of her
Mhm.
size. I was okay with it. So they just wanted to get it going since I had her so early.
Mhm. So those first few days in the NICU, do you remember a lot from that? How did you go from like literally in the middle of surgery, then you go to mama mode and you're exhausted? And tell me about those first few days.
The first few days were kind of scary. Not so much because she was in there, but because it was like, now I'm a mom. And also just seeing her, just feeling kind of helpless. You know what I'm saying? I knew that she was in the best place possible for her to help her get better. But then it was like, well, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? And then it was all these machines that were kind of overwhelming. And I didn't know what the process was like. Like, what does she have to go through on a daily basis? So
Yeah.
I just had a lot of them. I had a lot of different questions. I was experiencing a lot of different emotions. My husband always had to keep me kind of grounded and just remind me, like, she's okay. He would always say, like, there's nothing wrong with her. She's just small, which was, ultimately that was true. Her biggest issue was that she was small, but that is an issue. That's a health issue. She shouldn't be here right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she were completely good, she would still be in my belly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And not here in the NICU. So, the first few days of the NICU, it took some adjusting. Having them or watching her nurses and respiratory team like do their whatever they had to do for her. It was scary, but it made me feel good because I knew that they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like look at those people and you're like, how respiratory therapists specifically, I'm just like, your job is insane.
Yeah.
The amount of stakes and skill that it takes to do that is just so crazy.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
How did you keep track of all the different information and details about what was going on with her? Do you feel like you just kind of kept it in your head, or would you send a text to your mom that kind of helped you, or write it down? What'd you do?
The day she was born, I immediately started sharing my journey on social media. So I would update social media through the little letter board. So as her weeks progressed, I would let them know, like, oh, she had this many setbacks. She ate this much food. This changed today. Like, she's not on CPAP anymore. I updated her to that. But one of her primary nurses also made her little artwork every time, like, something amazing happened. When she took a whole bottle, she has a lot of artwork from when she was in the NICU from her primary nurses.
Oh my gosh. When you're there at the bedside, and you're doing these letter boards and stuff, did keeping busy kind of help you when you were there? Because I've worked in the NICU before, and a lot of moms feel like, I don't know what to do, but then they feel bad if they're on their phone, and then they feel bad if they're doing something else. Should they just be looking at their baby? There's all these kind of conflicting things.
I was comfortable doing both as long as I was there, as long as I could see her, or as long as I was holding her. Me doing not to say that it gets boring, but you're sitting there just sitting. You know what I'm saying?
You are, yes.
It's so much noise from other babies, from machines, from, like nurses, and it's so much going on around you that just sitting there will probably like drive you insane. So I was on the phone. I always brought my laptop with me. So
it's your home away from home. Your baby is there.
Exactly. And what else did I do? Oh, I was always on FaceTime, like with family, so they could see her.
Yeah.
So, and I was also a part of a support group that came by every Wednesday, a scrapbooking support group. And that's where I met a lot of my NICU friends at. So that was kind of my safe haven while she was in the NICU, because we would go in there. We were supposed to be scrapbooking, but it ended up turning into like a venting session. Everybody just letting out everything that they wanted to let out for the week.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful thing, because you have people there who can relate to you. When you have a baby in the NICU, like your family and friends, unless they've experienced it, they don't understand, and they have so many questions, and answering the same questions over and over again can get annoying. Or them asking, like, so when is she coming home? Like, I don't know when she's coming home. You know what I'm saying? Or trying to explain like a procedure she had, or like why she had to get a blood transfusion. Like, those things, sometimes people are inconsiderate of the fact that you're still going through what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? And while they mean well, it's not the best thing to do.
Yeah, it sounds like community played a huge role in your coping while you're
Yes,
going through that.
definitely. The nurses, whenever I was feeling down or something, they were there to like give me advice, console me. We had social workers. You get a social worker when you have a baby in the NICU. She always came in and checked on me, asking if I needed anything. I connected really well with the chaplain at my hospital. So whenever she would do her round, she would always come and see Mila. She would always stop to make sure I was good. The scrapbooking support group played a big part in everything. So I did have a pretty big community rallying behind me and helping me stay sane.
Yeah. It sounded like you made really good use of your resources, because it can
I
be an
did.
intimidating place, and to branch out and be vulnerable with new people that you've never met before is challenging.
It is. And it's so crazy because I started out with this very negative outlook on it. I hated the NICU to begin with. And some days I was like, I was kind of resentful that we were there. I would envy the moms that I would see that were still pregnant. I would envy the moms that I would see who just had their babies and got to go home with them right away. And I kind of I had to really be realistic. Like, she's thriving. She's doing amazing things. Like, she's really okay. I
Yeah.
know like being there is scary, but she's okay. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was the fact that I had been there for so long and new moms are coming in like into the group. And I could see like once Mila started really thriving, that's when the anxiety kind of went away. So I could see like the light at the end of the tunnel. Something clicked in me, and then we started getting new moms to the group, and I could see like some of them would like cry. I could just feel what they were feeling because I was there, and it went from me hating the NICU to me giving other people advice, to me consoling other people, even while my baby is still in the NICU, even while I'm still going through what I'm going through, helping other moms. And that was kind of the driving force behind my motherhood journey now, helping other women. Like, that's why I'm so big with sharing my journey, my daughter's journey on social media through my blog, because I want people to see like it's gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy because literally, I want to say, like, after Mila came home, maybe about a couple of weeks after my cousin had her baby, extremely early. She was due in December, and she had her about 3 months early. And everything that I was able or that I went through, I was able to pour all of that wisdom that I had into her. And it was like, oh my gosh, like, this wasn't for anything. It wasn't for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you'll be like, or I'll be like, why? Like, why did this happen to me? But then here my cousin is going through the same thing that I just went through, and now I can pour into her and help her get through everything that she's going to be going through. And her led to another mom, and then another mom, and then another mom. And then I just started connecting with all of these women all over the world. And they would like either message me their story privately or like just send me a message saying like, your daughter is giving me hope. Like, I just had my baby, and seeing your daughter and seeing like her thriving is literally helping me get through, you know, my journey, or just asking for tips and advice. And it really makes me feel good knowing like my journey wasn't like in vain, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out here helping other women go through what they're going through.
That takes a super strong woman for sure, because it takes a lot of expertise, and that's exactly what you have now. Like, you went through a life-changing experience for sure. Like, the rest of your life is different from now on.
Yeah.
You're a changed woman. Motherhood does that, and then especially a NICU experience. Talk to me about now that you guys, you know, she just turned a year old, 10 months adjusted. So now that you're a year out, what's it like looking back at that experience? What would you tell a mom who's just starting out?
I would tell a mom, and this is what I always tell moms, allow yourself to feel what you are feeling. Like, what you are experiencing is very real, and you are allowed to feel sad. You're allowed to feel upset. You're allowed to feel happy. You're allowed to feel envy. You're allowed to be jealous. Feel all of those things, because when you harbor them, it makes your experience 1,000 times more painful than it needs to be. And my nurses would always tell me that, like, you need to be your best self for you so you can be your best self for your baby. Like, your baby can feel when things are off, and you need your baby to come home. So I need you to be okay when you come in here. I was going up to the NICU every day, and one of my primaries would be like, you need to take the day off. So I would, eventually my self-care turned into staying home one day a week. And I know that could be like scary for a lot of moms, but luckily for us at the hospital that Mila was born in, our NICU, every baby had a camera attached to their incubator, or their crib, whatever they were in at the time. So I had a password where I could just log in and see her. And then like the nurses could leave notes and update me about her day. So that made staying home a little bit easier, because I knew I could still kind of be there when anything not necessarily happened, but I could just see her.
Well, and you didn't exactly have you didn't have a short drive, right? It was
the hospital was like 20 minutes away from where I live.
Yeah. Gosh.
So it wasn't terribly far, but it was far enough, especially with the traffic that we have out here. Oh my gosh, it's so awful. It's so awful. I think with everything that's happening now, not having traffic is the best part of like being
ever. Yeah, for sure.
Just getting to where we need to be in less time is just the best thing ever. Because literally a drive that could be 30 minutes could take an hour and 30 minutes if the traffic is.
That's just terrible.
I know.
It'll drive you crazy, literally.
Yeah, it will.
So tell me about Mila now. Like, what is she up to? What is she like? You're living with an ex-preemie in a pandemic. What's going on with that?
It's so crazy. And, I still tell people that she's a preemie, because her doctors always say that it takes up to 2 years for them to catch up. So I still consider her a micro preemie, even though she's growing and thriving and things. But Mila is doing everything that you could think of. She just started walking.
Are you serious?
She's gotten that down. She took her first steps maybe like 2 days after her birthday, and now she's got it down. Like, she's got it down packed. She's eating big people food, and she is so greedy. She eats everything. She loves everything. No matter how much food you give her, like, she can make her own food, her baby food. She's going to eat all of that. But as soon as I pull food out, she's like, Mom, I want some of what you have too. She loves watching TV. She takes swim lessons. She just graduated from level 1 of her swim lessons and is now in level 2. She's the youngest baby in her class.
Oh my gosh.
And that is scary, because like, she's not afraid of water at all, because we take her swimming a lot. But like, she knows how to go underwater. Like, when we submerge her, she's okay. And she loves the water. It can be kind of scary though from the outside looking in. But once you get used to the routine and see that she's not afraid, it helps you not be afraid. What else is she doing? She's just running around the house, wreaking havoc everywhere. She loves playing with her toys. She loves being on video chat. It's pretty great seeing where she came from and seeing who she is now, and still continually watching her to grow is an amazing thing. It's like every day she's doing something new. And it's like, you couldn't do that 2 days ago, and now you can do it. It's so amazing. She knows how to snap her fingers. She can clap her hands. Oh, it's so amazing.
That's awesome. If there's one thing you could say that she's taught you about life, or that you've learned from Mila, what do you think it would be?
Be in the now. Be in the now, because she's growing so fast and time literally slips away from you. Like, now she's moving everywhere and she doesn't want to just sit in your arms and she doesn't want to just lay on you like she used to when she was an itty bitty baby. And now it's like, dang, you're really growing up on me. Like, so just
Yep.
be in the now, like soak it all in because time moves fast. And you're
I
going to
know.
wish that you were in the now when you see how quickly they grow.
Yeah. Oh, you're so right. I mean, it feels like when you have like other moms tell you who have gone through something, they're like, it goes fast, but then it just does. It just does
It
go
really does
fast.
go fast. Oh, she's also, I forgot to tell you, she's also in early intervention. We haven't seen her teacher since COVID happened, but for any moms out there who would like to get like physical therapy, occupational therapy, if you have a premature baby, it's likely that they could receive those services for free. And we learned about that through her pediatrician at like her first appointment. They told us about it. They linked us to the company and we receive free early intervention, and it has helped tremendously. It plays a big part in who Mila is today because I was very hands-on with it. So when her teacher would come in, I would watch, I would ask questions. She would explain what she's doing and why she's doing it. And we only see her once a week, or we're seeing her once a week. So when she wasn't here, I was still doing those same things that she would be doing with her in her class.
Right. That's huge. And I think especially for moms now that can't go to the appointment because of COVID, like you, it's like, it's just feel empowered to learn how to do it,
Yep.
ask questions, go on YouTube, check out different ways
Pinterest will
and
be
do it
your
yourself.
best friend. Pinterest will be your best friend. Oh my gosh. They have so many activities that you can do with them. And Mila loves to do the sticky grab where you put sticky notes on the wall and have them to
Aw.
like try to reach them. It's so crazy because before she actually knew how to walk, or even when she first learned how to stand, she would be so into like the sticky notes that sometimes she wouldn't even realize that she wasn't holding on to anything. And it's like, oh, she's
Gosh.
she's getting it, you know what I'm saying? And then she realizes and then she falls. And it's like, oh man, you had it, you know what I'm saying?
That's so cool. I think, did you have that on your Instagram? I feel like I've seen that video.
Yeah,
Okay,
I did.
gotcha.
I did. And I also, prior to moving out here, I was a teacher. So um, that plays a big part in it as well.
Sure.
We just wanted to make sure she's on track with everything. I know they say it takes up to 2 years, but I try to be proactive to
Right.
not have to keep her where she needs to be.
Well, so tell us about you've got a merchandise company, right? And how can we connect
It's
with you
it's
and
in
all
the
that
works.
stuff?
Yes, it's in the works. So I do have a lifestyle and motherhood blog. It's DominiquePompey.com. I've been blogging for a few years now, probably since like 2014. It has evolved so much though. So you can connect with me through DominiquePompey.com. I also just started a YouTube channel, and I'm starting a series called After Birth. I just recorded the first episode for that yesterday. That was so nerve-wracking. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
I love that.
Yes. Oh, that's an exciting new journey. And through Instagram, I do a lot of my stuff through Instagram. That is my
Okay.
favorite social media platform of all time because I love taking pictures, and it's just so easy for me to get what I need to get out to the world and quick.
Sure.
So my Instagram is Dominique Pompey at Dominique Pompey. Those are the ways that you can connect with me. And I do have a merchandise company. It's called Happy Medium Studio Co. LLC, but I haven't launched it yet. It's still in the works. I'm still trying to perfect it, decide what items I want to sell, prices, and all of those things.
Cool. Well, I can't wait to see what you come up with. It's going to be
Thank you.
amazing. I know for
Thank you
sure.
so much.
Thank you so much for listening to my conversation with Dominique today. If you haven't already done this as you've been listening, go on Instagram, follow her. It's Dominique Pompey. That's DOMINIQUEPOMPEY. It's just her full name. You can also go to her website, which is dominiquepompey.com, where you can find Happy Medium Studio Co. merchandise and just read more about her story. She's such a good blogger, and she's just really, really fun to read. So thank you so much, Dominique, for being here and being real with us and talking with the Child Life On Call podcast community today. Guys, make sure you're following along. Send new people my way. I always want to, find new families and new parents to be able to interview. And I'm just really looking forward to the direction that we're heading, despite all the craziness with the global pandemic going on. But I really feel like this community is stepping up for each other, and I just love that. So have a great week, and I will see you soon. Bye.